title of my workshop is Mentoring is Awesome.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to this workshop. It's called Mentoring is Awesome. I will explain later about why mentoring is so awesome, and if you want to become a mentor and you're thinking about it, let me tell you, you can indeed. So I'm going to go ahead and start now. First, I'll start with who I am. My name is Debbie Duran, and I work here at Gallaudet full-time. I work in the ASL program, but I want to let you know that it's different to the Deaf Studies program here on campus.
The title of my workshop is Mentoring is Awesome.
So the
Later on, I'll touch
ASL
on
program that we have here does a few different things. It goes out into the community and teaches classes to some hearing folks that might be living in and around or working in and around with deaf people, people who may be curious about ASL as a language or different types of communication methods. That's just one example of what we do here. Also, since we are in DC, there's tons of federal agencies here, more and more hiring deaf individuals. So it's quite important for these hearing people who work here to learn ASL so they can communicate better at work. So there are a few different reasons that they would take the classes here at Gallaudet. And that's just a brief little synopsis of what I do here. But now I'm going to go ahead and start discussing more about mentoring and the aspects behind it. First, I'm going to show you what mentoring looks like. If you were to open up a dictionary and take a look at the definition, it's got a pretty basic definition that is a person who shares experience or knowledge with another person. Also, they might provide support to that person as well. It's really quite basic, but mentoring really has quite a few definitions because it's different for every person in every relationship. But the main point, it's two people sharing information.
My name is Debbie Duran.
Mentoring includes a lot of things from the mentors themselves and can be many different people. It could be teachers, evaluators, advisors, counselors. There's a whole range of people who can become mentors to others.
The ASL program is separate.
Mentors do have many roles, and the roles will change for every relationship. Now, here I have an example of a senior student who would like to get some advice from their advisor. They could go up to their advisor and ask them questions about what college they should attend or what they need to do in order to prepare best for college. And the advisor can give them that information and tell them all the different tests and forms they need to fill out in order to start that process. Now see, in this instance, really the advisor is doing their job of advising and not mentoring, but they can become a mentor role.
The deaf people that they come across every day. For example,
a way they could become a mentor is if, for example, the student went up to the advisor and asked, hey, so what was your experience in college? And then there, the advisor can shift into the mentor role. When they do that, they're giving advice, they're giving experience and background on their situations and explaining their experience to the student. The student can then take that and use that and apply it while looking towards their college application. And that is more an advisor turning into a mentor. Now understand, friends can also be mentors to friends. In a situation where someone is about to get a divorce and they have a friend who's already gone through a divorce, it's quite easy for them to go and ask them for information about lawyers and the experience, the process, and the preparation they need to go through in order to start and finish the divorce process, which can be quite tedious. So in this instance, they can sit, chat, be very casual, but the friend will be mentoring and helping and assisting this friend through her process of the divorce. A mentor really means that you're supporting one another, and when you're a mentee, you're comfortable to ask for advice and help. Now, another instance is in the case of a student and an evaluator. An evaluator will watch the student sign, and the student will then get the information from the evaluator. Information on how to improve, information on notes, how they can change a few things or keep a few things, have an open dialogue with the evaluator about their production. Now, the ASL student can also inquire with the evaluator about their process and what they do, what goes into the background of or into the mind of an evaluator, and what they look at and how they do this process.
To give you a little bit more about our program, is we provide classes for ASL, and oftentimes we get.
Often students will ask the evaluator for descriptions about what's going on and how what's going on, their mental processing when it comes to evaluating, as well as their experience.
Is being that we're close to.
Excuse me while I clarify.
That are happening to hire more staff workers. Having ASL classes provided is a very big benefit to the people taking those classes, so that they could provide a fair and equal communication. So now I'm going to discuss a little bit about mentorship.
All right.
So at the thought of mentorship, what are the
So the ASL student can ask the evaluator for their specific experiences and processing. They're not so curious about their results in their production, but more about how they work as an evaluator. These boundaries are a little bit different because you're now in a mentor role. This also happens in classrooms where teachers and students interact, and the teacher will explain things to the students, teach them different things, history, math, whatever the subject may be, but the students can sometimes inquire more about experiences and situations, perspectives of the teacher, which then turns us into more of a mentoring situation, not so much a classroom question-answer situation. A student can ask a teacher why they decided to become a teacher, and they can sit and chat and really talk about the reasonings behind becoming a teacher, becoming a mentor, becoming this, that, or the other. And when these open conversations and dialogues happen, you then see that mentorship relationships blossom.
And is seeking advice and counsel regarding.
So now you might be wondering what a mentor's role is. Now, understand the roles do change and shift. They're not always the same. They're not rigid. Mentorships can also take on the roles of being a very formal type of mentorship and mentee relationship, or they can be casual. They can be casual and have chats over coffee, or they can be really formal and more meeting-like situation. But that depends on you and your mentor situation. Really, you have to decide that for yourself.
A counselor counseling a student is their job.
Mentors and mentees often share a lot of information with one another. They share experience and knowledge with one another and special skills.
Let's say the student asks the counselor, can you describe to me what your experiences are?
So a mentor will have a special skill, and the mentee tends to want to seek out this special skill to have for their own. So that's why they would pick a particular mentor. And the mentor could go ahead and share that information, knowledge, and experience to help benefit their mentee.
situation.
Imagine there is a person who is just so skilled at video editing and someone who really wants to learn that skill. That person can become the mentee of that person and learn their skills in video editing
Perhaps an individual who
and
is
become
going
much
through divorce
more comfortable and skilled in that
another individual.
video editing
This
process.
person can very much go to a friend of theirs who has experienced a divorce before.
Now I want to talk about the relationships that mentoring produces.
And advice.
We've briefly mentioned it before, but I just want to give a few more scenarios and examples of the types of relationships it produces. Imagine in a class setting there's a student who really wants to ask the teacher a question or is curious about an interpreter that may be in the classroom. They can ask these teachers or mentors to do about their experiences, and that may blossom a mentor-mentee relationship.
Another example.
But it is important for both mentor and mentee to know their role in the situation.
For instance,
For example, if there was a workplace setting and there was a supervisor who was skilled at Excel and there was a employee who was really eager to learn about it, he could approach his supervisor, ask him for tips and advice on how to use Excel, and his supervisor can take on the role of the mentor and really provide him the information so he can become a more skilled Excel user. After the mentee learns more about Excel, then the supervisor can give the employee more Excel tasks and really help them test their own skills,
Another example of a mentorship.
therefore making them a more skilled person and hopefully one day a mentor to others. Now, in a classroom setting, there may be a teacher who's very strict and hard to approach, and a student really would love to ask a question to this teacher, but as they don't feel comfortable, they'll turn to another student. And the student-student relationship can also be seen as a mentor-mentee relationship. The student can ask his fellow student, or peer in this instance, what's the best way to approach the teacher, or what ways do you think the teacher might openly accept and answer my questions? The student gains some confidence after asking the student, and then can turn to the teacher and finish up asking questions.
So then the teacher would follow up by responding to the student's inquiries and that kind of support.
So now looking back at all of these things, the main purpose of mentoring is really to share insight, perspective, and knowledge, as well as sharing resources and life experiences. We can add all these things together and it will really give you the exact purpose of what mentoring presents for others. Now understand there are some special considerations to think about before becoming a mentor. The three important special considerations would be cross-gender, cross-cultural, and hierarchy. So it's important to have these things in the back of your mind when you are becoming a mentor, so you know how to handle situations as they arise. One that I'm going to focus on right now is hierarchy. Hierarchy, it's important to embody and understand the different hierarchies within cultures and genders and people you may encounter on a day-to-day basis. We want to make sure as mentors we give power and importance to our mentees so they can obtain the skills they are looking to gain from you. I really encourage everyone to become a mentor one day and to go for it because you've got a lot to gain from it. Thank you so much.
Amongst others.